The 5'11 senior Dalton Young played a lot of positions for the Camels. And what a season he had for Gillette. Gillette finished their year 9-2. And a big reason for that was Dalton Young in all three facets of the game. Let's start with his longest kick of the season, a huge kick that gave Gillette a two-possession lead in their huge win over the eventual state champions, Sheridan. This one from 47 yards out. That was huge for the Camels in this Sheridan victory. Now, later on in the season, Dalton Young would go on a roll. At one point, he would make 7 straight field goals. Here was another one, that one from 39 yards out. Then Young, very good with the short field goal. He started 0 for 2, then he made 7 in a row. He finished the year 7 of 10 from field goals. And his longest was, of course, 47 yards. Let's look at him as a kickoff specialist. Drills it down the football field with a nice kick. And then watch this. He's going to make a play back here and save a touchdown. There's Young waiting at the 50. Big open field tackle, the strip, the fumble. Gillette gets the ball. What a huge play by Dalton Young. Now let's watch Young kick it again. From the 40, this going left to right. Kick taken at the 10-yard line. And now Young tees it up one more time. He averaged 48.6 yards per kick this season. Very good kickoff specialist. That went all the way to the opposing team's 5. Then Young lines it up again. Look at that kick. End over end. Taken at the 6-yard line that time by Rock Springs. Now let's watch him kick right to left from Young. He approaches the football, sends it, angles it towards the less dangerous defender at the 5. So Young very good strategically as well, directing the football where he wanted it to go. Young, very good kickoff specialist for the Camels. The senior was also, of course, the kicker. He played a lot of wide receiver and a lot of defensive secondary for Gillette. Here's a booming kick against Laramie. Big win in that contest. That went all the way to the goal line. Gillette would score on 4 straight drives to win that one. Then Young tees it up again in Laramie. Another booming kick, this one taken inside the 5. So Dalton Young, you can see a lot of power in that right leg. The senior with another great kick inside the 5. Then he's going to kick this one off against Cheyenne Central. That's going to be taken inside the 5 as well. Young, you can see, very consistent. And when he wants to angle it somewhere, he can darn sure do it. Here's Young again approaching the kick. This one angled towards the right. Against, in that contest, the less dangerous kick returner. Young again approaching the football at the 40. This time, going to the same side against the less dangerous kick returner against Cheyenne Central. This one is against Kelly Walsh week 1. Gillette would win this game handily, scoring 49 points in the contest. This one a high booming kick taken at the 1-yard line. Hang time very good for Dalton Young too, all season long. He had a huge game against Sheridan. Not only kicking that 47-yard field goal, he was 2 for 2 in field goals, but also a couple of these booming kicks here. Gillette ended up winning this contest 24-21. That one goes inside the 2-yard line. That was a big win for the Camels against Sheridan, who would eventually win the state championship game, defeating Natrona. Speaking of Natrona, here's a kick here taken at the 5 by Natrona. Dalton Young showing off really his athleticism, his perfect form. You can see why he's a very good soccer player for the Camels. Young again approaching another kick. This one against Cheyenne South. A booming one taken at the 6-yard line. Then Young showing off his perfect approach this time. He wanted it right down the middle. He got it right down the middle into the end zone for a touchback. This one was in the playoff game against Natrona. Approaches the kick. A high end over end kick. This time taken at the 10. He angled it to where he wanted to go. Back to extra points. Young this season hit 38 PATs. He was fantastic. There was one there. Here was another one. On the missed PATs this season for Gillette, a lot of them he didn't even get to kick. So Young missed a couple, but not very many. Very consistent kicking all season long. So you're talking about a kid that made 39 PATs, 7 of 10 from the field goal range. He actually, from field goals, his long was 47 yards. He also hit one. He also hit 4 from the 30 to 40 range. So Dalton Young, very consistent, as you see him knocking a few extra points. Here's one against Natrona. The 5'11", 145-pound senior just making plays for the Gillette Camels. Another one against Natrona. He was busy. against Natrona. That one in there, right down the middle. You see also when Dalton Young hits these extra points, they're going right down the middle too. Not a lot of veering on his kicks, just very consistent. Watch his approach here as you get an up-close version. Boom. That's great by Dalton Young right there. That was an extra point, but you could tell he could have made that from a mile away with that approach. Here's another one up close. Goes up, kicks it right through there in the Cheyenne Central game. Dalton Young just very, very efficient. Here's a huge field goal that changed the complexion of the game against Laramie, actually giving Gillette a 2-possession lead in the first half. He knocks that through. Then the second half, Campbell's, of course, went on an outburst, scoring 28 third-quarter points. There's one of his extra points. Here will be the second one as the Camels would defeat Laramie handily, especially because of that big second half. Here's the third extra point against the Plainsmen. Dalton Young was on fire. Look, right down the middle on all of these. Perfect approach on all these. Now we go to the other side of the football field. Young again, a nice approach. Again, right down the middle. He was very efficient in that game. Very efficient all season long. Here he is against Cheyenne East as that one goes through there. You got to give the other guys credit as well. Parker Long, great snapping all season long. Madden Pakula to hold. They were fantastic all year, setting up Dalton Young. Here's Young again. Now let's look at Young as a wide receiver. Wilkerson fires it down the field, caught, touchdown, Dalton Young. Now, in the Laramie game, let's watch Young make a play in the open field. Very good open field tackler, as you saw right there. Young again on defense. Upton, shifty guy, gets outside, one guy to beat. Oh, but there's Dalton Young there along with Caleb Durgan making the play. Then Young, who had 1 tackle for loss this season and 5 solo tackles, he's waiting in the back end. Boom! Look at him get low and make a nice hit down the football field. Now here he is against Cheyenne Central in coverage. But then he comes up out of coverage, sheds his blocker, comes up and finishes the tackle at the 20-yard line. That's a great defensive play by Dalton Young, maybe his best defensive play of the season. Then Young, a big-time hit inside right there. He was there to meet the football. Good job by Cheyenne Central to hold on to it. Then Young again in the open field. Gets low, runs the running back for Rock Springs out of bounds. Another good play by Dalton Young. Watch Young here. Sees his target, comes up the field, takes a perfect angle, gets low, and gets the ball carrier out of bounds. Here he is against Cheyenne South. Dalton Young, the 5'11 senior, a good year in all 3 facets of the game. He gets low again. There was his tackle for a loss. What a year Dalton Young had for the 9-2. Gillette Campbell.